Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, a day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel.
Everybody,
so grab your coffee, don't hit
whatever
snooze.
you want. It's up to
Chris
you.
in the morning with your daily news.
Here we go, big finish. And good Wednesday morning to you. It is May 13th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 6 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. Come on, you know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills, Chris Quant, with you here, holding it down in beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn, peering through the Venetian blinds. Well, it's a little cooler out there today. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to find out what our weather is looking like. But before we get to that, gang, I owe somebody an apology. My deepest apologies. Maybe what is one of the biggest things you can do is just say, hey, listen, I was wrong. I lashed out. It wasn't right. It wasn't fair. Maybe I was a little tense in the moment. Maybe it was 100 degrees in here. It was a little hot. I got a little hot under the collar. Producer Adam, I owe you an apology. I am so sorry. I came at Producer Adam over the last couple of days and said, listen, it's like 100 degrees in this studio. What the heck, man? I thought we got here early to turn the air on and cool everything down. And, well, it turns out it wasn't Producer Adam's fault. It turns out it was beyond his control. Was it an act of God? I don't know. But the AC is apparently is not working. Had somebody out yesterday. It's like, golly, it's really weird. I have turn the air conditioner on. I'm pretty sure in my 40 some odd years, I've learned how to use a thermostat. And I looked at it, I double checked it, and over the course of 3 hours, the temperature lowered down by 1 degree. And I think that's only because I had some of the windows cracked open here. And that was it. So I said, this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem normal. After 2 days of not being able to get the temperature a little bit lower, you think most people after one day, Producer Adam, would just go like, yeah, that's probably not it. No, we just want to double check and make sure that things are actually broken around here. So I had somebody come in yesterday and take a look at it, and he's like, yeah, no, it's broken. Yeah, it's very broken. So we're going to have to do some work on that. So Producer Adam, I apologize. I'm so sorry. Not your fault. So we will let's just move that and go past there and move on, and we'll just go on with our lives. Now, if it sounds like I've got an extra pop filter on, if it maybe sounds a little bit muffled, well, I'm wearing a mask right now and kind of forgot how to wear these things. I guess it's been a few years since we've had to wear these things, but they're testing when they went up there above the drop ceiling here in the studio to check out the AC, all the ducts that are up there. There's quite a bit of dust up there. This being an older building, the State Theater building, they said, well, we tested the dust. It doesn't seem to be, the older buildings, they've got the asbestos and all of that things and all those other things. Like, we tested it came back negative, but until we can do a little bit of a deeper dive and test just a little bit more out of an extra leg of precaution, if you wouldn't mind wearing a mask inside of the studio while you're here, we would appreciate it for today. So masks on. I don't know if I'm wearing the right mask. I had to dig out a mask out of my sock drawer. So is this? I might as well probably not, with the mask that I have on, I might as well maybe not even wear a mask. It's not any of the HEPA filter masks or the filtering masks. It's the mask that we got kind of near the beginning of COVID that you constantly have to adjust up and make work while you're talking. And I don't know, maybe it's stopping some dangerous particles, maybe not. I don't know, but we'll suffer on through. Fortunately, it's a little bit cooler out today, so it won't get as hot in here. But listen, listen, we soldier on. If the worst thing today is that it's a little warm, if it's a little toasty in the studio, that's okay. We will make it through. But producer Adam, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, I admit my fault. I come to you humbly and say, please forgive me for coming at you for not having the thermostat where it should be. Anyway, moving on. Let's move on to other things. If today is your birthday, you know we love to shout you out at the top of the hour. And so may I be hopefully one of the first to say today, a happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a great day today. If you're born today, you share a birthday with one Robert Middleton. Who is Robert Middleton, you might ask? Well, he's an American character actor born in 1911. How about this? Joe Louis, American boxer, 1914. B. Arthur, American actress and singer. Wasn't she play Golden Girls? Was that B. Arthur? Golden Girls? Richie Valens, American singer-songwriter, guitarist, 1941. Mary Wells, American singer-songwriter, 1943. Marv Wolfman, American comic book author, 1946. Dennis Rodman, American basketball player, the very famous Dennis Rodman there, 1961. Stephen Colbert, American comedian and talk show host of the Stephen Late Night with Stephen Colbert, 1964. Candace King, American actress, 1987. Lena Dunham, American actress, 1986, and Debbie Ryan, American actress, 1993. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Again, hope you have a fantastic day today. Quite a few things going on this day. You know, we like to talk about the things that are happening on this day in history. Now, this is one that I gotta take back to my son. I'll have to remember to tell him about this as we become pretty big F1 fans over the last few years here. And well, it turns out on this day in history, for you Formula One fans out there, in 1950, it was the first F1 World Championship. The very first Formula One World Championship race was held at Silverstone in the UK. Giuseppe Farina took the win in an Alfa Romeo. Anybody knows an Alfa Romeo. Did it work long enough to stay on the track the whole time? Apparently it did. It's the official birth of the sport as we know it today. It's a far cry from all of the tech that we see on the grid now. Boy, if you follow some of the tech of those cars, now they have to be constructors. So constructors like Mercedes or Ferrari or McLaren or Aston Martin's on there as well. So they're constructing their engines there, or Honda has an engine in there. Ford is going to have an engine in there now. Cadillac is on the grid now. So these constructors that are out there building these engines, supposedly developing technologies for their road cars as well. It is just we did a little bit behind the scenes. We watched, my son and I watched some of the tech talk that they have around Formula One, and the technology and just down to the millimeters of tech that they have spec'd out and that they use for these different cars. It is insane. It makes your brain hurt to see the engineering that goes into these to make these cars just go zip, not even a half a second, a tenth of a second, a hundredth of a second faster than the person next to you. It is absolutely incredible. How about this? In 1958, the Velcro was trademarked. For the trademark for Velcro was registered on this day. It was inspired by the way burrs from plants stuck to a dog's fur during a walk. So, there we go. Nature unlocking some secrets for us. Let's see. What do we have here? And I think that's it. Yeah, just trying to look here. Those look like that's it for our national days. Today, if you're looking for a dessert idea, maybe it's your birthday today and you're more of a pie person than you are a cake person. Well, you're in luck. Today is National Apple Pie Day. Shout out to my mom, who makes, in my opinion, I might be a little biased though, makes the best apple pies. When I went to visit my parents, so about a month ago now, Mom had not one, but two apple pies. She's like, oh yeah, I'll make an apple pie for you. We'll make sure that it's all ready to go. It's like, oh, thanks, Mom. The first one didn't take very long for us to polish off. And the next day, I'm like, did you make two apple pies? Yeah, I made two apple pies. Oh, well, thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. Yeah, we had plenty of apple pie to go around. So happy National Apple Pie Day. Today is also National Frog Jumping Day. Now, as soon as you heard this, you might have had this story come to mind, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County by Mark Twain. Yeah, that traces its roots back to that. So there we go. One of the other books that I remembered reading, or stories I remembered reading in school. It's also National Crouton Day for those of you that like croutons, and National Receptionist Day. So shout out to all the folks up there at the front desk, answering the phones, transferring the message, doing basically all the things to keep an office together and working. Sure appreciate you all. 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:10 a.m. He has been waiting patiently in the wings here, meteorologist Tim Root. Timmy, how are we looking out there for our weather today?
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, about 75 to 80 today, a nice day. A south wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies, about 55 for the low. It's going to be warm. It's going to be sunny Thursday and Friday. Mid-80s expected each afternoon. Looks like the sunny, warm weather will continue over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. Coming up in our next segment here, we'll have our Fox Business Report. Before we get to that, we'll just take a little bit of a look at inflation. What is inflation looking like? A couple inflation stories today. Inflation, regular inflation, and this thing called gradeflation. What the heck is this gradeflation? I don't know. It doesn't sound like the regular inflation, but things going up nonetheless. Also, cocktails. It's World Cocktail Day. Well, maybe some fun facts around some cocktails. Maybe you got your favorite drink out there. Nostalgia is king. What are we nostalgic about now? I'll tell you all about that. Daily dad jokes coming up next hour as well. You can send those in now live at KAHI.com or call 530-885-3565. Came across this article. Real interesting. I'm fascinated by this one. The article, talk about clickbait, and it got me. What does space smell like? What does space smell like? What? Oh my gosh, there's a lot coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's time to live better at CAC Fit at 2514 Bell Road in the Crossroads Shopping Center. Whether your fitness goals are to lose weight, gain weight, functional training, or recovery, they've got you covered with customized training programs, fitness classes, hydro massages, and more. Open 7 days a week with 24/7 access. Stop by CAC Fit at 2514 Bell Road in the Crossroads Shopping Center. Call 530-885-1964 or online at cacfit.com.
Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
Because KAHI cares. Here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board.
You don't have to go to Africa to have a wildlife adventure. The Wildlife Care Association offers adventure, challenge, and satisfaction when you volunteer to care for injured birds and small animals. The nonprofit group is offering classes now for volunteers to assist Mother Nature in returning wildlife to our communities. Visit wildlifecareassociation.com or call 916-965-WILD and get your adventure going.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is May 13th, and it is 13 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:13 a.m. Hey, good morning to you, Lincoln. Currently 58 degrees out there right now, looking for a little bit cooler. High temperature today of 81 degrees. All right, it's been gone for a little bit of while, but we found him. We went looking for him. We found him. We got him back. It is time now for the Fox Business Report.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street will be reacting today to the Producer Price Index for April inflation at the wholesale level. JBS, parent company of Swift, Blue Ribbon Beef, Pilgrim's Pride, and many other meat and poultry products, is making less because of the high cost of raising beef. Despite high prices, its North American beef business reported record sales in the quarter. JBS also was dealing with temporary plant stoppages because of weather, Shares are down more than 1.5%. Japan-based tech investment firm SoftBank says its profit quadrupled this year because of its stake in artificial intelligence businesses. German sandal brand Birkenstock is blaming the Middle East conflict for a disappointing quarter. It says shipments to the region have been delayed. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosilda. Invested in you.
Many of our U.S. veterans and service members face challenges: mental health struggles, housing obstacles, employment, food insecurity, and social isolation, to name just a few. I'm Bob Woodruff. My family and I started the Bob Woodruff Foundation in 2006 after I sustained a life-threatening injury while reporting from Iraq. Our service members had my back that day, and we need to have theirs now more than ever. At the Bob Woodruff Foundation, we raise awareness about the tough challenges veterans and military families face and invest in solutions to help support them in the next chapter of their lives. And with one solution comes the next. We solve a housing situation, we increase employment opportunities. We solve employment problems, we address food insecurity. We solve food insecurity, we impact physical and mental health issues. Learn more about our work at bobwoodrufffoundation.org/success.
Let's talk about another event for the calendar. We've got the 38th annual Clay Fest. Yeah, celebrating Lincoln's rich clay history there. The 38th annual Clay Fest. The Art League of Lincoln is presenting this one. It's going to be this Saturday, May 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I will never forget. One of the things I just loved and appreciated about my grandma growing up is she always took my sister and I out to all these different places, whether it was to the Crocker Art Museum downtown or to Ansel Hoffman Park to go to the FEA Nature Center over there, or going to the Gladdy McBean. Yes, we went to the Gladdy McBean factory there in Lincoln. All these different adventures. Hands-on things. She's like, I don't know. Maybe she's thinking, what do I do with these kids while I need to watch them? Well, I will be forever grateful. Thank you, Grandma, for doing that. And one of the places, we did is we went to the Gladdy McBean factory there in Lincoln. Well, Clay Fest, leading into that history, is happening this Saturday, May 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be an all-day art street festival at Bierman Plaza in downtown Lincoln. If you're wondering what the address for that is, I'll tell you, it's 580 6th Street in Lincoln. That's going to be this Saturday. There's going to be galleries, events, all sorts of sponsors. You can sponsor it if you want to. Just go out there and look at the artists creating clay. There's going to be hands-on things. The kids can get out there, get their hands on some clay, shape some things. There's going to be a whole lot of music, crafts, and a whole lot more there. You can make art. You can make memories as well. There's going to be a clay camp for both kids and adults. Artesian booths, food vendors, a whole lot more. It's the 38th annual Clay Fest happening this Saturday, May 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's at Bierman Plaza in downtown Lincoln. Again, that is 580 6th Street in Lincoln. We'll be back right after this.
Not able to tune into AM 950 KI whenever you want? That's not fair. Have a strict boss that only listens to music and never local news? He's not very informed then, but you knew that. Don't worry, you can get KHI's up-to-the-minute news information and local advice from our talented KHI news team anywhere you want now. Follow KHI on Twitter or like KHI on Facebook to receive local news updates multiple times a day. You can also download our KHI radio app at KHI.com and enjoy the voice of the foothills at AM 950 KHI at any time, day or night.
19 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:19 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, Sports Ball at the bottom of the hour. How did the Giants do against the Dodgers? Game 2. I was talking to a Dodgers fan yesterday on Zoom. He had his Dodgers jersey out. I'm like, well, we took Game 1. We'll see how Game 2 goes. We'll talk about that. Also, shout out to my cousin who's listening, who reminded me with my mom's homemade apple pie. Yes, there was also homemade whipped cream as well. So to go on top of the pie. Mom spoiling me per usual. All right, we'll see you back here at the bottom of the hour.
at the Jefferson Coin Shop. You find them online at jcsgold.com. It's a family business, not a big corporate entity trying to sell you up on some gold or mark you up on something. They want to help you get into the gold and silver world so that you can have that stability and firmament to your investments. James, good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing well, Joe, and we have one of those interesting mornings where gold is down 1/3%, and silver is up about 0.5%. Gold is currently sitting right at $4,700, down about $14 so far this morning. But silver, on the other hand, is up to $87 even. So a strong day here for silver, which usually means that gold turns around and starts to get in the green by the end of the day. So we'll see what happens today, but it's always fun when they're moving opposite directions.
And one of the things that makes talking to the Luck family and their staff great is it's advice. It's not a call list. It's not a quota that has to be met. They want to give you advice on gold and silver investing there. And you have talked for years, James, about how gold and silver had come detached from one another, and silver was far underperforming gold. And it seemed like it caught up there for a little bit, or it got closer, but now it seems untethered again, where silver is still underperforming gold from where you sit?
Not nearly as much as it was a couple years ago. A couple years ago, it was really bad. You can see the gold to silver ratio there on our website at jcsgold.com. And it got really far apart there for a while, where silver was really lagging behind gold. It was way too cheap, and a lot of our clients were just seeing that silver really needed to catch up. And last year, it really did catch up. That ratio came way down as silver went up closer to $100. So this really seems to be a natural level for silver at this level compared to gold.
Well, I appreciate it. And this is the stuff. You can do this as well. 434-979 coin. That's 434-979-2646. James, have a blessed morning, sir. Go make sure you got a lot of silver in there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thanks, Joe.
434-882-4217. Emails jtinthemorningradio@gmail.com. Charles writes in about Virginia's Attorney General, Virginia's Attorney General, Jay Jones. If Jay Jones' appeal references Virginia, or whatever the misspelling, SCOTUS should simply say, there is no entity known as Virginia in the United States. The appeal is rejected. And then he writes parenthetically, but maybe we should be known as Virginia these days. Charles, I appreciate tongue-in-cheek there, but I do believe, if I remember, and this is anecdotal, I looked at the document, it was misspelt Virginia. The middle I was left out there. Maybe Cyclops would work as his name. Yeah, sure. How many eyes can Virginia have? I mean, it just, seems, and maybe he's leaving the other eye off for interesting. Joel is on the line with us at 434-882-4217. Good morning, Joel. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing okay. I'm just listening to everything, trying to like rattle it around through the centrifuge and pull out the things that are
good luck on that. Let me know, because I'm in here and I've listened to every minute of it and I have no clue. I'm kidding. It's self-deprecation. Don't you see it when you come? Anyway, so what have you come to so far?
Well, I want to spell a word. Okay, I know.
Oh, no. Do you want to buy a vowel first? I'd like to buy a vowel, Jay.
Anyway, yeah. So STANDARD, and we could put an S on it too for the plural form of it. I know that's difficult when you add an S and it's plural, but so that in the definition, it's an established norm, requirement, or specification used as a benchmark to ensure quality, consistency, and safety in materials, products, and processes. It can also be used in other things too. But we've lost our standard. And then what if we did that with let's say with aviation, we're going through some changes now, some improvements. But what if we go, oh, well, it's okay. You don't have to put that wheel on, right? You don't have to. I mean, we have things that are precision. We have things that, in my job with nursing, you can't misplace the decimal point, right?
Oh, God, no.
Because,
oh, man. Holy cow. We were
right?
talking about fatal.
Engineering. Look at, you're running a radio station. You and your wife, you're owners of a radio station. You got to worry about decimal points too. And it's just, we've lost the standards. And then when we try to go back to it, we try to have some kind of norm. We're at our 250th anniversary. We have a president that's trying to get things back to where we are showing our nation, and we are having a nation where we have not necessarily having all these regulations, but requirements for excellence. And we need to get back to excellence. Oh, that's another word too. I didn't spell it, but
well, you put the cell in excellence. A couple of points on that. Number one, first and foremost, this is, I think, an abstract to their insistence that we not. I heard a phrase on Friday in all of this back and forth about voting rights and redistricting, and I heard I believe she was a California representative, one of the members of the General Assembly, talked about African American, Latino American, and non-English speaking American rights. And it stood out to me. I heard, what? So we've created a hyphenate for people who don't even speak the language of the country anymore. This is how far we've allowed the left to, interbreed with itself until you've got the outcome of an incestuous club where the gene pool doesn't expand at all, and you've wind up with a family tree with no branches on it. And that's what you're getting with these Democrats right now, are people who just go out there and they just wing it with the most populist things they can say, and doing the work of those who want a permanent underclass, incapable of doing anything for themselves because they don't know the language, they don't know anything about life in the community except get on the bus, get off the bus, do the things we tell you to do, get back on the bus, and be deposited at your dwelling, and that's it. That's what they want. They want another permanent underclass, just like the one they lost in the 19th century.
I mean, look at this mouse virus, right? I mean, the rat virus, I should say. Look at it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's all about the COVIDization. That's my new word, COVIDization of America.
Well, that's right. Be very. They'll come up with a safe and effective way to treat it. Thank you, Joel.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
In today's troubled world, our USA Armed Forces stand ready to protect you, your family, and our American way of life. When veterans return to civilian life, they deserve your recognition and support. You can help put vets to work by donating your car, truck, or van to Patriotic Hearts. Your donation will directly support programs to help vets find jobs or even start their own business. Donate today for fast, free pickup of your vehicle, running or not. Operators are standing by to answer questions about making a tax-deductible vehicle donation. Find out how you can make a difference in the life of a United States veteran. Call 800-209-4580 for 24-hour response. Call 800-209-4580. 800-209-4580. That's 800-209-4580.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is May 13th, and it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Newcastle. Currently 57 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 78 degrees. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it, starting on the hardwood in the NBA. On the western side of the country, one game yesterday, semifinals, game 5. Spurs versus the Timberwolves. Spurs spur their way onto a victory there, find a W. Get that one, 126-97. San Antonio leads that series 3-2 there. Heading over to the MLB, game 2 of a 4-game series. Giants against the Dodgers. Giants playing down there in LA. Beat LA. Let's see how they did.
Hammered down the line. Is it fair? It's out of here.
Harrison Bader goes yard, ties up the game there at 2 apiece there, and then coming up right after him, not too long after that, the celebrations would continue because Eric Haas came back up to bat, and we had back-to-back home runners.
And it's a high drive. Left field. It is out of here. Unbelievable. The Giants take the lead.
That stunned Yamamoto.
Back-to-back homers from Bader and Haas, and they get back-to-back homers. That put the Giants up at the top of the 5th, 3-2 there over the Dodgers. The Giants go on to win that one 6-2. All right, that's 2 games out of 4. We'll see how they do in game 3 today. You can catch all of the action here on KAHI tonight. That is going to be again at 7:10 p.m. tonight. Giants versus the Dodgers. We'll see if we can get game 3 here. Beat LA! I think that's a good luck charm. Every time I yell that out, they've won so far, at least in this series. A's versus the Cardinals yesterday. Cardinals on top there, 6-4. Mariners over the Astros, 10-2. D-backs and the Rangers. Rangers win that one, 7-4. Padres and the Brewers. Brewers on top there, 6-4. Royals and the White Sox. White Sox win that by 1, 6-5. And let's see, we have the Rockies and the Pirates. Pirates on top there, 3-1. And the Guardians and the Angels. The Guardians win that one, 3-2. We'll be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia. Join me for my live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions right here on KAHI. On my show, we tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies.
Dr. Dahlia, weekdays from 9 to noon here on the Voice of the Foothills.
Join me each weekday morning right here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, about 75 to 80 today, a nice day. A south wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies, about 55 for the low. It's going to be warm. It's going to be sunny Thursday and Friday. Mid-80s expected each afternoon. Looks like the sunny, warm weather will continue over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:33 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have more events for the calendar. We'll have your KAHI news, also your California Ag Report. Coming up next hour, gradeflation. What the heck is this gradeflation? What are we talking about there? Also, we'll have your daily dad jokes. You can send those in now, live at KAHI.com. Call 530-885-3565. Nostalgia is king. Still king. We'll talk about what people are still nostalgic for. Also, what does space smell like? Yeah, I came across an article. We'll talk about that. Lots of interesting stuff. I'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Sister, gonna take my hand, lead me over to the promised land.
Received this text message from Larry at 434-882-4217. So you're going to go back to talking about Marty McCary and his abandonment of the Food and Drug Administration. We will, absolutely, and I think there's a couple of important points in there that we haven't completely trampled underfoot yet, and we will, because this is still the swamp fighting back against Trump's soldiers. And as we talk about tread on me, Marty McCary was very harsh at the way the federal and state governments dealt with the pandemic and the panic that was started. Still to this day, drive down the road here in central Virginia and I will see people so horribly gaslit by the administration, by the Biden administration, and by the states and Illinois and here in Virginia, so thoroughly gaslit that still to this day, walking alone without a single person within 100, 200 yards of them wearing a woke mask. And it is so much a virtue signal now. Because the mask was never supposed to protect other people from you. It was supposed to protect you from, it wasn't supposed to protect you from other people. It was supposed to protect other people from you. And it didn't work anyway, regardless. But that's how this went. And the McCary story out at FDA is important because I don't think there's an agency that is as hooked into the crony capitalism that we are crippled with than FDA right now. I mean, brothers got to eat. But Bob's on the line from Moscow. Yes, that one. And he wanted to talk about hantavirus, or as we call it now, rat scratch fever. How are you doing? And by the way, I haven't fleshed this story out. Apparently, this cruise ship, the hantavirus cruise, stopped at a landfill, some island-born landfill, trash dump, because it was just covered with seagulls. So they started taking pictures of the seagulls, which then started swarming around the ship and started pooping places. Gee, I don't know. I'm not qualified to be the head of the FDA, but that might be the place I'd investigate the hantavirus getting on board the ship from. But that's just me. Anyway, Bob, what's on your mind, sir? Thank you for calling.
Well, you kind of stole my show. But
What?
The issue is
I had no idea. I'm sorry. I
myself.
happened to hear this story and I thought it was fascinating.
But here's my take on the whole situation. This goes to show why WHO should be dissolved. The top head people of WHO should automatically resign, because if it happened as they said it happened April 1st, that was a D-Day or the departure of the cruise where they all started. It has a 1 to 8 week incubation period, so figure 60 days, which would mean June 1st. They should have just isolated the ship, not let anyone off, and we wouldn't be in this situation. That is the logical thing to do when you have a virus contained on a ship.
Yeah.
You just provide them with all the medical needs they need.
Right.
You provide them with food, sanitation, and there would be no problem around the world. Now, every person that left that ship that was released is still in the incubation period, so everyone they come in contact with could possibly spread the hantavirus. So is this a scheme they're doing to lock down like they did during COVID, that they're purposely letting these people off because they want the virus to spread? And whatever happened to monkeypox?
Well, the problem with monkeypox is there was a very specific activity that you have to take part in order to get it. And when they realized what that was, they're like, oh, yeah. But your points on this, and already the Food and Drug, same Marty McCary Food and Drug Administration said they were calling on scientists to develop a hantavirus vaccine, and that we're going to employ the same methodologies that had been used by Project Warp Speed to come up with a hantavirus vaccine. And I've already heard people say exactly what you have. Is this going to be lockdowns? Is this going to be woke masks all over again? Is this going to be safe and effective all over again? Because they've been looking. And I feel bad for the folks in climate change and gun violence activism, because they've been trying very hard to become the new health emergency. Maybe they need a new actual health emergency to cement the process so that when they determine that climate change is a health emergency and we have to lock you all in your house again under house arrest, you'll buy it. Because I don't think the blowback, even though I'd still, like I said, I see these people wearing woke masks absolutely alone for hundreds of yards on the side of a rural highway. I think that too many people in the society are onto the scam. That's my feeling on it, Bob. Do you agree?
Right.
So they need to do it again.
And there's still people here in Moscow and Russia that wear masks out in the street by themselves. It's just crazy. But it's mostly elderly people because they scared the elderly people so much.
Well, they were more the whole point of the Chi-Com virus was to get rid of the old people who were no longer contributing to the society, yet were using resources. This is all population control. Anyway, it's about excessive consumers, as Bill Gates and the rest of the eugenics movement call it. By the way, for those Jay Jones and the rest of our spell check crowd, WHO, as Bob refers to them, is not the band. They retired. He's talking about the World Health Organization. And I haven't even heard a statement from them on this. Have you, Bob?
They've had statements. The Teophilos, the head guy or whatever, said that they're following this and they have scientific evidence and it's not another coronavirus.
Well, it isn't, yeah.
But why is he bringing it up as it's not another coronavirus? All that's saying is that he's preparing the world for a coronavirus-like setting.
The tea leaves do seem to be falling into that pattern. I agree with you on that, and we got to watch out for it because it's going to happen again. We're going to fire doctors who are trying to treat people for sickness rather than prevent it in some mystical way.
And right now, they can't do anything to stop the possible spread of the disease, because they've allowed those that have been infected free reign in the world and travel. So all these people that left the ship, all these other people that came in contact with them could possibly be spreading the virus. And so
I want to read this text before you go. We're coming up on break, but I want to read you this text that just came in from one of our other pattern analysis experts. Gene writes in, hold it, isn't this the same virus that everyone heard of because it's what killed Gene Hackman? Yeah, it is. And his point being that, interesting that they concoct an incident on a cruise ship that mirrors the hantavirus is only famous because it's what killed Gene Hackman and his wife.
And look at the age of the people that first contacted it. It's the same time, older people.
Right. Excess consumers with enough, apparently, time to go on a cruise ship. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it, sir. You be good.
Have a great day, sir. Bye.
You're welcome. Anything and everything to scare you into submission. Big, scary virus. Government can't protect you from a gangbanger. It's going to protect you from a virus.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians, only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot's Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot's Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is May 13th. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:45 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Grass Valley. Currently 55 degrees right now. Looking for a high today of 73 degrees. All right, let's take a look at another event for the calendar. Let's talk about Saint Misbehavin'. This is going to be on Thursday, May 21st. At 7 p.m., Cinema at the State presents Saint Misbehaving. Again, that's Thursday, May 21st at 7 p.m. That's going to be at the Odd Fellows Lodge, 1226.5 Lincoln Way here in Auburn, celebrating the extraordinary life of beatnik, poet, clown, activist, and former Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavor, Wavy Gravy. The film testifies to the sheer joy of living a life of service to humankind and to our planet. It enriches and inspires. Wavy's message is timeless and is needed now more than ever before. Through candid interviews with Wavy's family and friends, including Jackson Brown, Odetta, and Bonnie Raitt, and close encounters with Wavy himself, this film paints a moving portrait of his lifelong commitment to peace, justice, and compassion. From keeping the peace at Woodstock to his present-day mission of providing for site-saving operations in developing countries with the SIVA Foundation and co-directing Camp Win a Rainbow. There we go. This entertaining and captivating documentary reveals the deep determination of a truly one-of-a-kind individual. Wavy Gravy! That's a person! Okay, I did not know that. I'm learning some new things here. Again, this is going to be on Thursday, May 21st. So coming up next week here, it's going to be at 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6 p.m. Runtime's about an hour and 40 minutes. $12 for adults, $10 for seniors and kids 11 and under. Again, it's going to be at the Oddfellows Lodge, 1226.5 Lincoln Way here in Auburn. You can get tickets online at auburnstatetheater.org. Auburn State Theater, that's theater spelled the old-fashioned way with an R-E at the end there, .org. Or you can call the box office, 530-885-0156. That's 530-885-0156 for Saint Misbehavin'. Again, Thursday, May 21st, 7 p.m., Cinema at the State presents this film. It's going to be at the Oddfellows Lodge there, celebrating the extraordinary life of beatnik, poet, clown, activist, and former Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavor, Wavy Gravy. Again, the film testifies to the sheer joy of living a life of service to humankind and to our planet, and enriches and inspires. Wavy's message is timeless and needed now more than ever before. You can check it out again. Call the box office, 530-885-0156, or go online, auburnstatetheater.org. Back with your KAHI News right after this.
Spring is in the air, and for a lot of us, so are the allergies. If you're tired of reaching for harsh medications, Sunrise Natural Foods has a better way to breathe easier. Naturally, at Sunrise Natural Foods, you'll find a wide selection of natural allergy support, from herbal blends and plant-based tablets to gentle homeopathic remedies designed to relieve sneezing, congestion, itchy eyes, and more, without the unwanted side effects. Visit Sunrise Natural Foods today in Auburn and Roseville, or online at sunrisenaturalfoods.net.
And here's your KAHI News for Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Chris Quant. New Placer County policy tries to prevent locals from being priced out of housing. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Placer County residents and workers will soon have an advantage in accessing affordable housing after the Board of Supervisors approved an affordable housing priority applicant policy on Monday. Starting July 1st, households with at least one adult who currently lives, works, or previously lived in Placer County within the past 10 years will receive priority consideration for affordable housing units in western Placer County and the Tahoe-Truckee area. Previously, there was no special consideration given to applicants who had lived or worked in the county. Placer County Housing Manager Nikki Strigan said the policy is intended to help ensure community members are not pushed out of the places where they live and work because of rising housing costs. Quote, this policy is about helping local residents and workers stay in Placer County as housing costs continue to rise while also supporting the businesses and communities that depend on them, unquote, she said. The priority consideration will apply only to new affordable housing projects that receive land use permits on or after July 1st. Some special housing projects are exempt, including housing for seniors, veterans, and homeless support programs. The county said that housing managers must use a fair lottery system and demonstrate compliance with the policy's rules. The policy was developed following board direction in 2025 and includes safeguards to ensure compliance with state fair housing laws, according to county officials. A fair housing analysis conducted by consultant Street Level Advisors found the policy is unlikely to disproportionately disadvantage any racial or ethnic group applying for affordable housing. Affordable housing operators will be required to include the preference program in tenant selection and marketing plans for eligible projects. Back with more news after this.
San Francisco Giants baseball is on the voice of the foothills, KAHI, AM and FM.
And this is hit high and deep and out of here.
Into the bleachers, a two-run homer, 4-0 Giants. The throw to first, it's high, pulling the first baseman off the bag, and there's nobody at the plate. Jung-Hoo Lee very alertly sprints home to score the run.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you that Chris in the Morning really is the best way to start your day. And he's not paying me to say this at all. Wink. And yes, he really is holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI Worldwide Headquarters Studios, Monday through Fridays, 6 to 9 a.m. Chris in the Morning here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. Now where is that $3 gift card he said he'd leave me for saying nice things about him? Man, that guy's a cheapskate.
Check out the Garden Goddesses here on the Voice of the Foothills Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Erlene Freeman and Cindy Davis will bring you up to speed on all the latest news and help your garden grow.
Row by row, someone bless.
It's the Garden Goddesses, Saturdays at 8 a.m. here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Sam Altman testified in the trial over OpenAI's future. The OpenAI CEO took the stand yesterday to answer questions about the history of the company, its founding mission as a nonprofit, and juiciest of all, his dealings with Elon Musk, who co-founded OpenAI before leaving in 2017. Altman testified that he was, quote, extremely uncomfortable, unquote, with Musk's, quote, hair-raising, unquote, demand to have total control over the company's for-profit arm and pass it on to his children when he died. Altman also said Musk's management style, quote, demotivated, unquote, employees, and that his departure was, quote, a morale boost, unquote, for the company. Quote, I don't think Mr. Musk understood how to run a good research lab, unquote, Altman said. Musk testified last month in the weeks-long trial accusing Altman of, quote, stealing, unquote, OpenAI's nonprofit division. eBay rejects GameStop's $56 billion takeover bid. Taking a page out of the Mean Girls burn book, the e-commerce company rejected GameStop's unsolicited offer, calling it, quote, neither credible nor attractive, unquote. Last week, GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen announced he made a long-shot bid, arguing he could make eBay operate, quote, a lot more efficiently, unquote. But Cohen struggled to explain to CNBC how GameStop, which only has about $9 billion in cash on hand, would pay for the acquisition. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Dr. Marty Makary resigned as FDA commissioner yesterday following reports that President Trump and some GOP lawmakers were not satisfied with the job he was doing. Google unveiled a new class of laptop, calling it Google Book, that comes with more integration of its AI chatbot Gemini. Nelson Peltz, the billionaire investor, is reportedly in talks to raise money to try to take struggling fast food chain Wendy's private. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani scrapped his controversial plan to raise property taxes, arguing the city balanced the budget, quote, without placing the burden on the backs of working New Yorkers, unquote. And Calbee, the Japanese snack giant, is changing some colored packaging to black and white as oil shortage from the Iran war shrink ink supplies. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is austerity, meaning the condition of living without unnecessary things and without comfort. Austerity. And that's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Chris Quant. On now to the California Ag Report.
It's time for California Ag Today. On the Ag Information Network, I am Haley Shipp. Fresh off of reading Project Hail Mary, I have apparently become the kind of person who stops scrolling for space station crop reports. But honestly, this latest update from NASA is pretty fascinating because it connects space exploration with something much closer to home, growing food. Last week aboard the International Space Station, astronauts spent part of the day watering alfalfa plants growing inside the station's veggie research facility. The experiment is studying how plants source nitrogen and survive in microgravity, all with the goal of supporting food production during long-term space missions. The crew's schedule also included a mix of cutting-edge science and routine station maintenance. NASA astronaut Jessica Meir studied DNA-inspired materials that could someday help doctors develop more precise cancer treatments, while other astronauts worked on quantum physics research, health monitoring, cargo operations, and even spacesuit repairs. So yes, somewhere above Earth right now, astronauts are farming alfalfa while studying dark matter. Turns out agriculture may have a future that is literally out of this world.
The Northern Pulse Growers Association is proud to sponsor the Growing Pulse Crops podcast, your go-to resource for practical pulse production insights. Each episode features farmers, researchers, or industry experts sharing real-world tips to help you boost yields, manage pests and disease, and get the most from your pulse crops. Whether you grow peas, lentils, or chickpeas, you'll find information you can put to work on your farm right away. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or visit growingpulsecrops.com.
Today, we're talking with aphids and whiteflies about Safina insecticide from BASF.
We just got nailed with it.
So tell us, how you feeling?
Really, really weird.
And you still want to devour this field?
No way,
bro. There you have it, folks. Safina insecticide is specifically engineered to disorient aphids and whiteflies, so they can't eat. And when they can't eat, they can't destroy.
Help protect your alfalfa from aphids with Safina insecticide. Always read and follow label directions.
With California Ag Today on the Ag Information Network, I am Haley Shipp.
The hosts of the Crossroads radio program invite you to join them Sunday mornings from 9 till 10 as they explore different subjects of the Bible and the everlasting gospel of Jesus Christ. Each Sunday, Wesley Smith and Pastor Buddy Harper help you discover answers that are tested and proven with strict biblical conclusions. Music during the show features the group Jordan to Canaan. That's Crossroads, Sunday mornings 9 till 10, right here on KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration.
Thunder.
The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
As we wonder why school shootings keep happening, someone is lashing out at loved ones. As we argue about legislation, someone is posting threats on social media. As we continue to mourn the loss of innocent lives, someone is planning the death of more. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent gun violence. Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
FM 104.5, K283CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee, don't hit snooze. It's Chris
Here we go.
in the morning with your daily news.
Time to eat a bit of humble pie. And good Wednesday morning to you. It is May 13th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 7 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. Come on, you know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills, Chris Quant, with you here, holding it down in beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn. Peering through the Venetian blinds. Well, it's a little bit cooler out there today. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to find out how much cooler it is and what we're going to be looking like for the next couple of days. But before we get to all of that, I did it at the top of the hour last hour. I started off with an apology. And I'm going to do it again this hour, just in case you missed it. Sometimes, I don't know, what is it? The measure of a man is to admit when to admit when he's wrong, to admit when he's messed up, to admit his faults. And yeah, I owe somebody a deep apology. I'm very, very sorry. And that apology goes to Producer Adam. I am so sorry. I came in here the last couple of days, walked into the studio, temperatures were hot. It was hot in here. I was like, Adam, why you get here so early in the morning? Why is the air not on? Why is it 80 some odd degrees when we come into the studio here? And I thought, what in the world's going on, man? Well, after running the air conditioner for about 3 hours yesterday, by the end of the show yesterday morning, the temperature had dropped only 1 degree. Dropped from 81 to 80, and that's probably because we had some of the windows open here. And so I was like, well, that doesn't seem... This is the second day in a row now that the temperature seems to not be changing at all. I'm pretty sure in my 40-some-odd years, I've learned how to work a thermostat. But just to make sure I wasn't going to be making a fool out of me or Producer Adam, I checked that thermostat, and I checked it twice, and then I checked it again to make sure, like, I've got the settings right. Like, somebody's not going to come in here. I'm not going to give somebody a heads up about this. And they're going to come in here and just say, hey, Bozo, did you flip it over to, like, the cooling setting? And did you turn the fan on and all of that things? No. Turns out that it was all on. It was all correct. And so alerted the folks that needed to be alerted yesterday. Nice, lovely gentleman came in. I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry, sir. I can't remember your name. Great guy. Got up in here, got on a ladder, pushed aside some of the drop ceiling up there, got up in there and started poking around, and he said, yep, the air conditioning is broke. And I said, well, all right. Well, that makes me feel at least somewhat justified that I still do know how to operate a thermostat. And apologies to Producer Adam for placing the blame on your shoulders. I get it. Some things are out of your control, and this is certainly one of them there. So turns out the air conditioner is broken, but steps are being made to replace or repair or whatever we have to do. But in the meantime, got a little bit of nostalgia going on here. I don't know that this is necessarily the nostalgia that I want, and we'll be talking about nostalgia a little bit later on. Not this type of nostalgia in the hour. Of folks are really jonesing for things that they maybe heard years ago. We'll talk about what that's all about here in just a little bit. But yeah, I got a little bit of nostalgia going on with having to wear a mask today. They got up in there and they said, hey, well, listen, the State Theater, it's an older building. We got up there. There's a lot of dust up there above this drop ceiling that they've got here. There's apparently the guy went up there. He said there's a lot of dust up there. We don't know exactly what all of that dust contains. Is it unhealthy? Is it just fine? We're not sure. We tested it. Seems like it's okay. But we're going to have somebody come in today, Wednesday, to test it a little bit more, do a little bit deeper dive. Just to double check and verify that it's okay, that there's not a lot of harm, with all the older building materials, the asbestos, all of that. So they said, out of just a bit of precaution here, everybody who's going to be in the studio today, just wear a mask. If you do us a favor and wear a mask, that would basically make us sleep a little bit better at night, and it'll probably make you sleep a little bit better at night as well. So if it sounds like there's an extra pop filter coming through, like, why does he sound muffled today? Well, I got a mask on, and I haven't worn one of these in a quite a while, and now I'm realizing, and again, like, boy, this used to be our lives back in the day. Well, we used to have these things all the time, to a point where, at one point, I don't think I never not noticed it, but it got, familiar enough where you're like, oh yeah, I got my mask on, yeah. Okay, whoop, did we go? We didn't grab our masks before we left the house. Go back and get the masks. And yeah, a time that was. So I grabbed one of my old masks, one of my old cloth masks. I don't know if this is doing any really good at all, considering what's here. I don't have one of those HEPA filter or triple filter. I don't even know what the masks are. I don't have one of those official ones, but we'll see. We'll see if this mask does the thing. And it reminds me of whenever we had masks on, just the constant adjustment that you have to do when you're talking and the mask just slides down your face, and you got to kind of, so I'm spending most of the show today holding, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it, but I'm basically holding my thumb at the bottom of my mask so the thing doesn't slip down while I'm talking. So having to manipulate and move things here one-handed with most of the things here today. I don't know, it's an adjustment. Listen, if this is the worst thing that happens today, is Chris has to wear a mask and it's a little bit warmer in the studio than it normally is, well then, listen, gang, we're gonna be just fine. So we'll soldier on. We'll move on here. But producer Adam, I apologize, sir. I am sorry that I placed blame on you when I shouldn't have. That was not your burden to bear. So I apologize about that. But in the future, let's make sure it's nice and cool in here, Adam. Let's just say that right now. All right, hey, let's get to this. As we do at the top of the hour, if today is your birthday, well then, may I say, a happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. If you have a birthday today, you share it with one Robert Middleton, American character actor, born 1911. Joe Louis, American boxer. 1914, B. Arthur, yes, that B. Arthur, American actress and singer, 1922. Richie Valens, American singer-songwriter, guitarist, 1941. Mary Wells, American singer-songwriter, 1943. Marv Wolfman. No, not, what's that? No, not Wolfman Jack. No, Marv Wolfman, American comic book author, 1946. Dennis Rodman, yes, that Dennis Rodman, American basketball player, 1961. Stephen Colbert, American comedian and talk show host, 1964. Lena Dunham, American actress, 1986. Candace King, American actress, 1987. And Debbie Ryan, American actress, 1993. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Again, I hope you have a fantastic day. Speaking of eating some humble pie, if you're a birthday person and you're more of a pie person then you are a cake person. Well, today is your day, as it is apple pie day, which seems weird. Shouldn't that be in the fall? Why are we doing apple pie day in the spring? Don't apples come in the fall? That seems kind of weird. All right, local connection here. It's also National Frog Jumping Day. This traces back to Mark Twain's first short story, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County, which if you grew up at least around here, and I remember reading that in elementary school or high school, like, what? Mark Twain wrote that? What? That Calaveras County? That's just right by where we live. Kind of cool. It was remembering that was kind of the first time I became aware of our local gold country and gold rush connection. Was I think it was, we read that back in 4th grade, something like that. Really fun. It's also National Crouton Day, so if you like the salad toppers there, and also National Receptionist Day. So shout out to all of those folks. Basically, let's be honest, just keeping the whole office together, making sure that like not only the phones get answered, but just things get done. Basically, Receptionist Day, Office Manager Day, like you're the reason that an office can function. So thank you so much for all that you do, and that we all aren't just running around into walls as we like, wait, where's this? I don't know where that is. Did you try looking over there? Oh yeah, thanks, I appreciate that. On this day in history, I got to share this one with my son, my youngest. We are both very big Formula One fans. On this day in 1950, the first F1 World Championship happened. It was held. The race was held at Silverstone in the UK. A very classic, probably one of the most celebrated tracks there in Formula One. For a good reason, as the first race was held there. Giuseppe Farina took the win in an Alfa Romeo. Apparently, the Alfa Romeo lasted long enough to make it all the way through the race. And again, it's the official birth of the sport, and it's a far cry from what we know today with all of the tech. My gosh, the tech that they have just engineered down to the millimeter is absolutely incredible. In 1958, the Velcro trademark. The trademark of Velcro was registered on this day. It was inspired by the way burrs from plants stuck to a dog's fur during a walk. So yeah, it's nature. Nature kind of giving us some hints like, hey, look how nature does it. Maybe you can figure out how to do that as well. Let's see. The miracle, 1917, the miracle of Fatima. 3 shepherd children in Fatima, Portugal, reported seeing the vision of the Virgin Mary, and regardless of one's take on it, it remains one of the most significant cultural and religious events of the 20th century. So there we go. There's some things that happened on this day in history. It's also May 13th. It's also World Cocktail Day. I know we had National Cocktail Day was it last month sometime, but it's World Cocktail Day. And didn't know this. There was some more fun facts about cocktails. I don't know. I'm not really a drinker. If I'm on the road, maybe if someone's like, hey, here, have a drink, I'll go for an old fashioned. I like an old fashioned. They're not too bad, but don't do a whole lot of that. But some interesting things around what the origins of and what people used to think of them. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But before we get to that, meteorologist Tim Root has been waiting patiently in the sidelines there in the wings. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, about 75 to 80 today, a nice day. A south wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies, about 55 for the low. It's going to be warm. It's going to be sunny Thursday and Friday. Mid-80s expected each afternoon. Looks like the sunny, warm weather will continue over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 12 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:12 a.m. Coming up in our next segment here, yeah, little fun facts about cocktails. Turns out that little umbrella, not just a little fancy decoration. Apparently, originally, that had a function. That umbrella was doing a job. We'll talk about that. Also, why they started adding flavors in there, the martini mystery. Whole lot more. Gradeflation. What the heck is this gradeflation? We'll talk about that. Also, we've got our Fox Business Report coming up here real soon. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Martha Barnett.
And I'm Grant Barrett.
We're hosts of A Way with Words, a weekly show about language.
We take your calls from anywhere in the country.
And from outside the country, too.
About anything and everything related to communication.
It's a show about speaking and writing and why we say the things we do.
It's also a show about history, family, and culture.
Satisfy your linguistic curiosity Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here. I've been asked to let you know that Chris in the Morning is the best way to start your day. I was not given any additional talking points beyond that, so I will also mention it airs Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills, and streaming at KAHI.com. That is all I was given. The man hosts a 3-hour talk show for a living. And yet, have a good morning, everyone.
And speaking of the morning, good morning to you. It is Wednesday, May 13th. All right, we got a little bit of cocktail trivia here. You know, we like to do our mental exercises in the morning, work our brains, stretch our brains out a little bit. Do your physical exercises. Everybody stretch. Don't forget to do that in the morning. I did that this morning. I'm always grateful for it when I get up and get moving around in the day. I'm like, yeah. It's good just to stretch for a little bit. So let's stretch our brains out here a little bit as well. We've got some cocktail trivia. Here's our question on World Cocktail Day. In its original form, the syrup grenadine was made using which fruit that gave it its signature red color and sweetness? So in its original form, key in on that, the syrup grenadine was made using which fruit that gave it its signature red color and sweetness? No looking it up. No asking Alexa or any of your bots out there. Just see if you can guess. See, I'll give you some time to chew on that, mull it over, as we talk a little bit more cocktail fun facts here. The umbrella, turns out, was functional. Those little paper cocktail umbrellas weren't just for flair. Supposedly, they originated in tiki bars to keep the sun from melting the ice too quickly and to prevent the aroma of the rum from evaporating in the heat. All right. I wish producer Shane was here. Producer Shane, fun fact about producer Shane. Shane, if you're listening, shout out to you, my friend. Really big into the whole tiki culture and everything. This guy, I need to talk to him about this someday because it's fascinating. There's this whole subculture, tiki subculture. I wonder if he knows that. I'll have to share that with him. How about this one? The Prohibition flavor hack. During Prohibition, the quality of bathtub gin and bootleg spirits was often terrible. Yeah, it turns out they were mixing sometimes some poison in there. If you do a little bit of research on that, that stuff was nasty. And some of that stuff would kill you, turns out. But people apparently needed their... Anyway, Prohibition. What a crazy time. Did people actually need to have it prohibited? I don't know. But anyway, bartenders started heavy-handedly adding fruit juices, honey, and syrups to mask the harsh taste of the illegal booze, which accidentally led to the creation of many sweet classics that we still drink today. And if we go back even further, it's the anti-hangover origin, which seems kind of funny. Are you fighting fire with fire? I'm not sure. In the 1800s, cocktails were actually considered a morning drink. A morning drink, okay, all right. They contained bitters and sugar, and they were marketed as, quote, medicinal, unquote, tonics to help travelers and businessmen settle their stomachs after a long night. Essentially the original hair of the dog there. Yeah, so maybe you drink a little bit too much the night before, so have a little bit more to drink in the morning to apparently cure that hangover. Most popular drinks right now are the Negroni. For those of you that know these types of drinks, for the second year in a row, this bitter Italian classic, gin, vermouth, and Campari, is the number one ordered cocktail worldwide. The old-fashioned, coming in at number 2. Yeah, that's the one that I'll get if I'm out and about. If somebody's asking, hey, what do you have? Usually I just go for an old-fashioned because I know what it's going to be like. The margarita, consistently the most popular tequila-based drink, especially as high-end mezcal variations continue to trend. I tried one of these for the first time the other day on a trip. Again, shout out to my cousin when we went on our little trip out to see my parents. Out in Kansas. We had a layover in, where were we at? Denver. Had a little bit of time, went up to one of the lounges there and said, hey, why not? Let's try one of these espresso martinis. And I have to say, delightful. Espresso martini has had a massive renaissance over the last few years. It's the go-to pick-me-up drink in the late night crowd. Yeah, need another little shot there. Get your espresso martini and the Aperol Spritz. It's a cocktail, or is it a cocktail or just a spritz debate? Its popularity as a low-alcohol all-day drink, apparently for you day drinkers, has kept it firmly in the top 5. So there's your top 5 drinks. If you didn't know, now you know. Coming back to our trivia here, we'll solve our trivia after we have the Fox Business Report here. But again, one more time, if you're thinking about it, our cocktail trivia celebrating World Cocktail Day today. In its original form, the syrup grenadine was made using which fruit that gave it its signature red color and sweetness? Just think about that now while we turn it over to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Taylor Riggs, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Prices paid at the wholesale level before they reach consumers jumped in April. The Producer Price Index rose 1.4% for the month, up 1% for core PPI, excluding food and energy. For the year ending in April, the PPI rose 6%, up 5.2% for core PPI. Economists were anticipating a 0.5% increase from March to April and 4.9% for the year ending in April, and also readings for March PPI were revised higher. President Trump has arrived in China for meetings there. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang joined the delegation of corporate leaders in Alaska, where Air Force One was refueling. And Nissan says it is back to making a profit after nearly 2 years of losing money. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
At Naturewood's Memorial Day sale, you choose the offer. It's like 2 sales in one. Take 10% off regular price or get 24 months of free financing with deferred payments on approved credit. Choose from living rooms, sofas, sectionals, dining rooms, bedrooms, home offices, and so much more. Shop and save big on the best selection of quality furniture, including Sacramento's largest selection of furniture made in the USA. Naturewood. You know, the building with the water wheel. Tell them Brooklyn, Nova, and Orion sent you.
21 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:21 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Colfax. Currently, the temperature right now is 57 degrees, looking for a high today of 73 degrees. All right, let's talk about another event for the calendar. Hey, here we go. The Golden Road Gathering happening May 15th through the 17th. So kicking off here in just a couple days. This is a multi-day live music event in the Sierra Nevada foothills. It's actually going to be up there in Placerville at the El Dorado County Fairgrounds there, featuring 30 bands across multiple stages, plus unforgettable late-night shows for you night owls to keep the energy alive until the early hours of the morning. Yeah, it is the Golden Road Gathering. Again, it's going to be May 15th through the 17th here, so just a couple of days here going over through the weekend. There's going to be a whole lot of music on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can find out more at goldenroadgathering.com. That's goldenroadgathering.com, happening up in Placerville at the El Dorado County Fairgrounds. That's 100 Placerville Drive in Placerville. So yeah, you fans of music, it's a multi-day live music event. It's a weekend filled with incredible performances, community vibes, because you know you gots to have the vibes, and non-stop music, again, featuring 30 bands across multiple stages, plus unforgettable late-night shows to keep the energy alive until the early hours. Go to goldenroadgathering.com for more information. Happening this weekend, starting on the 15th all the way through the 17th at the El Dorado County Fairgrounds in Placerville, 100 Placerville Drive up there. All right, we will be back with more. Coming up in our next segment here, gradeflation. What the heck is this gradeflation? What is that all about? Stay tuned. Back with more right after this. Tune in to the KAHI Corral every Saturday at 7 a.m. here on the Voice of the Foothills.
I did a petting zoo on the top floor of a skyscraper.
No.
Wait. They had the windows open because it's an old building. They don't have any air conditioning.
I'm still creeped out because I think animals fell out the windows, but they didn't.
Well, Reno did. He was
Wait,
standing
what?
on the windowsill with his head out the window.
Did he come when you
Walked
called
over
him?
very slowly, grabbed him, and pulled him back in and closed the windows.
Listen in to Connie and the Gang, and you'll never know what you're gonna find. Everything from pets in the studio, oh yeah, that's a real thing, to the advice you've come to count on. So join Connie and a cast of thousands on the KAHI Corral Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. here on 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. And good Wednesday morning to you. May 13th is the current date right now, and it is 24 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:24 a.m. All right, I came across an article today looking in the Morning Brew here. This thing called gradeflation. I know what inflation is, and inflation, keeping a close eye on that, seeing what the markets are going to do, seeing what the Fed's going to do, and we can talk about that here in a little bit. But this thing called gradeflation. What the heck is going on there? Well, turns out, what do they say? Is that one school in Boston there, Harvard is deciding whether to give fewer A's. Yeah, I don't know. A Harvard faculty committee began a week-long vote yesterday. Again, this is from the Morning Brew, on whether to cap the number of A's allowed per course in a bid to combat gradeflation. So, grade inflation, I should say. The measure would limit professors to giving A grades to just a fifth of the class, plus 4 extra students. Now, how did they come up with that? Listen, guys. We got to limit the number of A's. All right. So the too many A's. Too many people look like they're doing too well. So we need to cap it. There's only so many A's that we can give out. So you're gonna do, I don't know, should we do a 4th? Should we do a 3rd? Should we do a 7th? 23rd? No, let's do a 5th. Yeah, a 5th sound. Yeah, let's lick our fingers and put it up in the air here. Which way is the wind blowing? Yeah, let's see, about a 5th. Yeah, that sounds right. Well, wait a minute. I don't know. Maybe a 5th isn't quite enough. How many on top of that should we have? Should we have 7? That seems like the perfect number. No. 7, no. All right. How about 5? No. 5. That can't be right. Okay. We're going to do a 5th plus 4 extra people. Really? All right. Plus 4 extra students. So a 5th, and then, just for good measure, just so we're not seeming like we're too harsh, you can add 4 other people onto that train. The rule would also tie honors to class rank instead of GPA. It's also on the ballot there. Class rank, I'm trying to remember in high school. I think it was GPA, right? It was the people with the highest GPA. I don't know, maybe everybody's so smart over there that you have to get it down to like a Formula 1 race. Like who, when it comes down to all of the tenths and hundredths of a second, who actually crossed the finish line first, and break it down to all the even smaller increments. And maybe that's just where you don't do GPA. You actually get down to the tenths and hundredths of the GPA to determine who's first. Let's see. The proposed changes come as some faculty and external critics, including the Trump administration, say that A's are becoming more common than and perhaps, this is why I love the Morning Brew's writing, are becoming more common than Nepo babies on Ivy League campuses, and it's eroding the grade's value as a marker of excellence. A's accounted for 60% of grades awarded to Harvard undergrads last year, compared with 25% in 2005. So quite the shift there between, 60% of grades awarded to Harvard undergrads last year compared with 25% in 2005. So yeah, that seems to be quite the jump there. Last year, 55 Harvard students tied for the school's top GPA award, an honor that's used to be clinched by just 1 or 2 students per year. So I guess I could kind of see that. trying to narrow it down there. So you're going to have to not just do GPA, but you're going to have to get down to the minutia of the GPA to see who actually got to the very top there. Proponents of austerity say it'll motivate students to work harder while making it easier for employers and grad schools to gauge their performance. But many undergrads and some faculty oppose mandated scarcity, claiming it'll pit classmates against each other and hurt Harvard's students' competitiveness. Wait a minute, hang on a second. It'll pit them against each other. Isn't that kind of the whole idea of the competition? Like, hey, listen, if you want to be the best, so, and I guess I could see like, okay, well then people won't collaborate. They won't like, listen, why do I want to study with you? Why do I want to kind of help you get up if it just advances my own thing more? If I can keep you down, then you won't. Maybe it's the idea is not everybody will rise up and work together. Everybody will just be isolated and say everybody for themselves and no camaraderie or a collaboration there. Which, by the way, again, I think I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm trying to see on both sides. Well, yeah, it's a competition. Yeah, like you got to motivate yourself. You know, nobody's looking out for you except you. You're the one that can get in there and do it and put in the hard work. But also, the value of collaboration and bringing somebody alongside of you. Like, there's value in that too. So I don't know. What's the perfect answer? I have no idea. Taking a look at the big picture, supporters hope a grading overhaul at Harvard will spur other top schools to curb grade inflation as well. So if you didn't know, grade inflation must be a thing there, and Harvard's got it on the books there. I think it makes sense to if it's just like, hey, everybody got a 4.0 GPA. Well then who had the highest GPA? I think you gotta, if you're gonna keep track of things like that, if you're gonna put everybody in a rank and file and grade system, and do it like the man does it, well then I guess that's the way to go. But grade inflation happening. They're taking a look at it at Harvard, and they think that maybe other Ivy League schools will take a look at it as well. All right, 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:30 a.m. Going to take a break here. When we come back, daily dad jokes. You can send those in now. Let's maybe do some daily dad jokes about school. Producer Adam, see if you can get some about school, or find whatever you want. We'll take a look here. Kim, I see we've got one here in the inbox. Thanks so much for sending that one in, and we will be back right after this.
Here's Jimmy J, DJ of the Stars.
BB Bumble and the Stingers, Monta Hoople, Ray Charles Singers, Lonnie Mack and Twang and Eddie. Here's my ring. We're going star. Ooh, I didn't realize the mic was on. Hi, this is Jimmy J. How you doing? Join me every Saturday at 8 p.m. right here on KAHI. I have the stars you grew up with, some great music, and I promise I won't sing. So join me this Saturday, 8 p.m. for Rewind, right here on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
Hi, the consumer with a thought for car dealers. I've been driving to work in the same car for 4 years. I need new tires. My front end is shimmying. That tiny rattle in the glove box is pounding in my brain like Chinese water torture. And the transmission is making that funny noise again. The one that goes, $1,200 to fix me, $1,200 to fix me. Why wait until the weekend to sell me a new car? On the weekend, I'm thinking about my crabgrass. On the weekend, I wash my car, and when it's clean, I like it again. So I don't pick up the auto section on the weekend, and I don't see your ad. But come Monday morning, all those little noises and rattles come back like the bad dream you had as a kid about monsters in the closet. The only thing that drowns them out is the radio, so I listen to it instead.
The best time to sell someone a new car is while they're driving their old one. Advertise on this station. Call us for more information.
And good Wednesday morning to you. And hey, hello to you, Lake of the Pines. Currently 58 degrees right now, looking for a high today. Oh, very nice. 76 degrees out there. All right, it is that time. It is time for your daily dad jokes. That's right, make you laugh, sigh. I don't know, roll your eyes. We'll see what we got here. Taking a look at the inbox here, got one from Stephanie. Stephanie sent this one in here. What kind of people never get angry? What kind of people never get angry? Nomads! That was pretty good, Stephanie. What kind of people never get angry? Nomads. I appreciate that. That is awesome. How about this one? I saw a weird thing at the gym today. This guy put a water bottle in the Pringles can holder on the treadmill. What? I saw a weird thing at the gym today. This guy put a water bottle in the Pringles can holder. Oh, I got it. I see. Oh, all right. Because you think that the water bottle holder is for the Pringles. Got it. All right. Let's, nice try. That was a nice try on that one. All right. Let's see if Kim can redeem us here. We were talking about the air conditioner being out here in the studio a little bit earlier this hour. Kim sent this one in. I told my dad the air conditioning stopped working. He said, hey, that's okay. We'll just open windows. Now the computer's overheating as well. What's that, Adam? It's a PC joke. Yeah. You remember those, hey, I'm a Mac, hey, I'm a PC? I have a story about that. The I'm a Mac, I'm a PC guy. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. One more time. I told my dad the air conditioning stopped working. He said, that's okay. We'll just open windows. Now the computer's overheating as well. That's why I use a Mac. How about this one? Kim sent this one in as well. Why is Wednesday the strongest day of the week? Because the other days are weak days. All right. Oh, we'll take that one, Kim. Thank you. And producer Adam, he asked if he could have a shot at a dad joke today. So, all right, Adam, I'll read yours as well. Let's see. How about this one? I was at the coffee shop this morning, and the barista asked if I wanted a double or a single. I told her I'm married, but I appreciate her asking. Adam. Oh, Adam. All right, how about this one? We'll try one more. Adam came up with this one. My neighbor told me he's going to start a business selling fake grass for front yards. I told him, well, that's just a sham rock. We should have stopped while we were ahead. And those are your daily dad jokes for this Wednesday, May 13th. Adam, nice try. Stephanie, Kim, thanks for sending those in. We'll be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia, and I'm thrilled to announce that I've joined the KAHI radio team. Each weekday morning from 9 to noon, I'm live on KAHI. We tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies impacting your health. The Dr. Dahlia Show is also a live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions on the air. Join me, Dr. Dahlia, Monday through Friday from 9 to noon here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, about 75 to 80 today, a nice day. A south wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies, about 55 for the low. It's going to be warm. It's going to be sunny Thursday and Friday. Mid-80s expected each afternoon. Looks like the sunny, warm weather will continue over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 36 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:36 a.m. Coming up in our next segment here, people getting pretty nostalgic. Nostalgia is king, especially for things that we're listening to. Also, what in the world does space smell like? Something that probably no question anybody was asking this morning. But once you hear it, I don't think you can stop thinking about it. That was at least for me. What does space smell like? Came across this article. My goodness gracious, very interesting. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here with a quick reminder to listen to Chris in the Morning, which you are right now. So I'm not sure what I'm adding here. Local news, weather, traffic, events, dad jokes. You're already getting all of it. This promo was probably unnecessary. And yet, here we both are. FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills. There's 30 seconds of my life I'll never get back.
Yeah, well, but it was a good 30 seconds well spent. All right, it is now 39 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:39 a.m. Hey, we forgot to pay off our trivia today from our World Cocktail Day. If you were tuning in a little bit earlier, the question was, hang on, I gotta find where it's at here. Okay, in its original form, the syrup grenadine was made using which fruit that gave it its signature red color and sweetness? Original form grenadine was made using which fruit that gave it its signature red color and sweetness? Well, if you guessed, I get cherries. I was like, is that like a cherry thing? Well, maybe that's what you thought. No, it's pomegranate. So pomegranate in its original form gave it its signature red color and sweetness to grenadine. So there's another useless fact for you if you didn't know. What are the odds somebody asks you that a little bit later on today, or if you get some trivia question right? What if that's the final trivia question in Jeopardy today? Boy, you'll look like the smartest person on the block there. Hey, speaking of being on your block, who else on your block might have their whole music list? They're ready to go. Spotify's doing this thing. Nostalgia is king. They're doing a thing where they introduced a new rapped style nostalgia bit here. Now, if you've been following along, if you've got Spotify, if you use Spotify, at the end of the year they do the whole Spotify Wrapped thing, which I think is actually pretty brilliant. But it also kind of makes you think of like, oh my gosh, what kind of data? You see the kind of the data that these companies collect on you, the kind of data that they have that you're probably not even thinking about. Spotify will take a look at all of the music that you listen to throughout the year. This is what their Wrapped thing does. And it'll tell you, hey, what are your top 10 songs? What is your top song that you listen to? How many hours did you listen to? How many podcasts did you listen to? Basically all the data points. This last year they said, what is your music age? So based on the type of music that you listen to, the genre that you listen to, what is your quote-unquote age? If you like older music, does that make you an older person even though you might be younger in your actual forms? I mean, it's fun. Everybody loves to use it and see it and share it and say, oh my gosh, here's my music age, or here's my top 10 list, or here's my top songs that I listen to. Again, it's a lot of fun. Listen, it's having fun with data. And if you think about it, like, oh my gosh, they have a lot of data on us. Well, now they're doing a Wrapped style nostalgia tour that allows users to go back to the day when they first made an account. So if you've had a Spotify account, and producer Shane has this, I wonder, it'd be interesting to see. He's had a Spotify account for a long time, so this will probably go back way in history. They've got a whole thing now. It's called Party of the Years. It's a limited time feature that spits out a playlist of the 120 songs that you have listened to the most and how many times you've listened to them each since you first made a Spotify account. It also shows you the first song you ever listened to on the app, the total number of unique songs played, and your most listened to artists. So I am curious, like going all the way back, I think Shane has, gosh, when did he open his Spotify account? A long time ago. Like they've been tracking that. They've been keeping all of that data this whole time. They probably have. So my gosh, it seems kind of fun, but also to me it seems a little spooky. Like, good Lord, anything that we do on the digital landscape, just kind of know, just keep that in the back of your mind that somebody somewhere or something somewhere is absolutely tracking that. Now I'm not saying that to be like, oh my gosh, you got to be afraid, fear the reaper, whatever. Like, no, it's just an interesting thing. It's an interesting fact that when we use these shared digital spaces, the clicks and the points are being tracked. So just a heads up about that. New features galore. The walk down memory lane is just the latest among a slew of new gizmos Spotify has been releasing, like it's running out of time, or at least trying to help recruit listeners that might be turned away by the company's latest price hikes. Recently, Spotify has TikTokified its app, rolled in app messaging, and even invented its own font. So sure, why not? The Spotify, you're a brand. You want to brand everything? Sure, why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is all from the Morning Brew, by the way. Users absolutely loved Wrapped. Last year, a record 300 million users logged on to see their annual wrap-up and to discover their, not music age, their listening age. However, Spotify's 2024 Wrapped received some pushback from users for leaning too far into AI. Last year's version roared back to popularity with more human touches there. So people, we love the nostalgia. We love going back and seeing like, hey, what was I listening back to in, 2011, 2010? It's like, basically, listen, Casey Kasem, you live on, my friend. Everybody. And now spinning up the hits from 2014. This song was top of your chart. So it's basically your own personal Casey Kasem there with Spotify going with their new Party of the Years Wrapped time, where if you're a Spotify user, again, we'll have to check in with producer Shane, see if he's got that for us and let us know. Maybe he'll let us know, if he's up for it, his first song that he ever listened to. All right, we're gonna take a little bit of a break here. When we come back, we'll have our KAHI news, and then if we've got time before the end of the hour here, what does space smell like? What the heck does space smell like? Ooh, stay tuned. Back with more right after this. Oh, I guess we hit right. It's now 15 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m. Stay tuned, gang. Here we go. Back after this.
Catch Sinatra and Friends Saturdays and Sundays right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
And here's your KAHI news for Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Chris Quant. Placer Superior Court announces appointment of new court commissioner. This is the Superior Court of California County of Placer news release. The Placer Superior Court is pleased to announce the appointment of Ms. Miriam Baxley of Lincoln, California, as the newest court commissioner effective June 1st, 2026. Ms. Baxley fills a vacancy created by the elevation of Judge Shani Rorick to the Placer County Superior Court bench in March of 2026. Ms. Baxley has more than 20 years of public service as an attorney with both the state of California and Placer County. She currently serves as tax counsel with the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration and in the Litigation Bureau, as previously held positions as supervising tax counsel and tax counsel with the California Board of Equalization, where she received a resolution recognizing her exemplary service to the Board of Equalization and the state of California. Quote, Ms. Miriam Baxley returns to service in Placer County with extensive experience in multiple areas of law and deep knowledge of criminal justice practices in our Placer County community, unquote, said presiding Judge Jeffrey Penny. Ms. Baxley was admitted to the State Bar of California in 2003. She earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from the University of Waterloo, her Juris Doctorate from Gonzaga University School of Law, and a Master of Law in Taxation at the University of Washington School of Law. New Placer County policy tries to prevent locals from being priced out of housing. This is from the Sacramento Bee. Placer County residents and workers will soon have an advantage in accessing affordable housing after the Board of Supervisors approved an affordable housing priority applicant policy on Monday. Starting July 1st, households with at least one adult who currently lives, works, or previously lived in Placer County within the past 10 years will receive priority consideration for affordable housing units in western Placer County and the Tahoe-Truckee area. Previously, there was no special consideration given to applicants who had lived or worked in the county. Placer County Housing Manager Nikki Stregan said the policy is intended to help ensure community members are not pushed out of the places where they live and work because of rising housing costs. The priority consideration will apply only to new affordable housing projects that receive land use permits on or after July 1st. Some special housing projects are exempt, including housing for seniors, veterans, and homeless supports programs. A fair housing analysis conducted by consulting street-level advisors found the policy is unlikely to disproportionately disadvantage any racial or ethnic group applying for affordable housing. Affordable housing operations will be required to include preference program in tenant selection and marketing plans for eligible projects. Back with more news after this.
What keeps you up at night? Is it the mysteries of the universe, the secrets of history, or maybe the stories no one else dares to tell? I'm Frank Morano, and I invite you to discover The Other Side of Midnight, where curiosity never sleeps. From the fascinating to the forbidden, we tackle it all. Catch the conversation weeknights from 2 to 6 a.m. right here on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950. KAHI, the night is alive. Join us.
This program is supported in part by the Hearts of Space Archive Service. If you just can't get enough Hearts of Space, Sunday evenings at 8 here on KAHI, visit the Hearts of Space Archive Service anytime on the web at HOS.com. Hearts of Space, slow music for fast times.
Lonely winter, lonely times.
Advertise with KAHI Radio, the voice of the foothills, and you'll reach those who matter most, your local customers for your local business. Here's Fred Penny of Penny & Associates to tell you why he uses KAHI Radio.
This is Fred Penny of Penny Associate Injury Lawyers, and I choose to advertise on AM 950 KAHI Radio because it works.
So call our KAHI sales team at 530-885-5636. That's 530-885-5636 to start your local advertising today.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Sam Altman testified in the trial over OpenAI's future. The OpenAI CEO took the stand yesterday to answer questions about the history of the company, its founding mission as a nonprofit, and, juiciest of all, his dealings with Elon Musk, who co-founded OpenAI before leaving in 2017. Altman testified that he was, quote, extremely uncomfortable, unquote, with Musk's, quote, hair-raising, unquote, demand to have total control over the company's for-profit arm and to pass it on to his children when he died. Altman also said Musk's management style, quote, demotivated, unquote, employees, and that his departure was, quote, a morale boost, unquote, for the company. Quote, I don't think Mr. Musk understood how to run a good research lab, unquote, Altman said. Musk testified last month in the weeks-long trial, accusing Altman of, quote, stealing, unquote, OpenAI's nonprofit division. eBay rejected GameStop's $56 billion takeover bid, taking a page out of the Mean Girls burn book. The e-commerce company rejected GameStop's unsolicited offer, calling it, quote, neither credible nor attractive, unquote. Last week, GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen announced he made the long-shot bid, arguing he could make eBay operate, quote, a lot more efficiently, unquote. But Cohen struggled to explain to CNBC how GameStop, which only has about $9 billion in cash on hand, would pay for the acquisition. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. Dr. Marty Makary resigned as FDA commissioner yesterday following reports that President Trump and some GOP lawmakers were not satisfied with the job he was doing. Google unveiled a new class of laptop called Google Book that comes with more integration of its AI chatbot Gemini. Nelson Peltz, the billionaire investor, is reportedly in talks to raise money to try to take struggling fast food chain Wendy's private. New York City Mayor Zoran Mandami scrapped his controversial plan to raise property taxes, arguing the city balanced the budget, quote, without placing the burden on the backs of working New Yorkers, unquote. And Calbee, the Japanese snack giant, is changing some colored packaging to black and white as oil shortages from the Iran war shrink ink supplies. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is austerity, meaning the condition of living without unnecessary things and without comfort. Austerity. And that's your KAHI News for this Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
Ready for a career that keeps Placer County moving? Placer County is hiring equipment operators in the Auburn area to help maintain roads, operate heavy equipment, and serve local communities year-round. If you enjoy hands-on work, working outdoors, and learning valuable skills, this is your opportunity. Placer County offers competitive pay, excellent benefits, and long-term career growth. No matter where you are in your career journey, now is the time to apply. Get started on your application today by visiting our website at jobs@placercounty.com. That's JOBS at placercounty.com. Placer County, great work, great community, great future. Apply today.
Did you know there are other signs of rosacea besides facial redness, bumps and pimples, and visible blood vessels? Other signs include burning, stinging or swelling of the face, even enlargement of the nose. Rosacea can also affect the eyes, causing a bloodshot appearance and irritation that could lead to vision loss. If you have any sign of rosacea, see a dermatologist and ask about advances in treatment, or visit the National Rosacea Society at rosacea.org.
6 minutes to the top of the hour. It is 7:54 a.m. All right, before we get to the end of the hour here, I found this fascinating. Came across this article. This is from the website mentalfloss.com. What does space have a smell? What the heck does space smell like? Well, when you think of the word space, your mind likely fills up with images of spiral galaxies, stars, colorful planets, and maybe little green things flying around out there. But does it have a smell? I don't know that anybody ever thought, is there a smell to space? But it's true. Outer space does have a smell, or rather many smells. The cosmos isn't sterile or empty after all. It's quite literally unearthly a patchwork of dying stars that shed clouds of pungent soot, I should say, as well as gases, radiation, and plasma blown about by comets that whiz by at mind-blowing speeds. What does it smell like according to astronauts? Well, according to this article here, the main scent that astronauts report smelling upon returning from outer space is a distinctly metallic odor that some have likened to ozone, gunpowder, seared steak, or, quote, sweet-smelling welding perfumes, unquote, per NASA. Welding fumes are sweet-smelling. I did not know that. Quote, to me, space smells like a mixture between walnuts and the brake pads of my motorbike, unquote. Astronaut Alexander Gerst wrote on Twitter. Many astronauts detect this scent on their suits and equipment following a jaunt in the cosmos there. Some space veterans seem to find the scent quite pleasant. Quote, it's hard to describe this smell. It's definitely not the olfactory equivalent of describing the palate sensations of some new food that, quote, tastes like chicken. The best description I can come up with is metallic. It's a rather pleasant, sweet, metallic sensation, unquote. Astronaut Don Petit wrote. Quote, it reminded me of my college summers where I labored for many hours with an arc welder torch repairing heavy equipment for a small logging outfit, he continued. It reminded me of pleasant, sweet-smelling welding fumes. That is the smell of space. So if you're familiar what sweet-smelling welding fumes smell like, well, then you probably have an idea of a little bit of what outer space smells like. There are two main theories as to why outer space might smell a bit like a mixture between a gas station and a local cookout. According to one of the former directors of NASA, Astrophysics and Astrochemistry Lab, one theory holds that the smell may have something to do with the polycyclic achromatic hydrocarbons, which are found in many regions of the universe. These hydrocarbons also appear in earthly materials like burnt toast, charred meat, soot, and car exhaust. So there you go. If you're ever wondering if that thought ever crossed your mind, well, geez, I wonder what space smells like. What does it smell like? Well, apparently it's like these sweet smelling welding fumes or burnt toast or burnt meats. So if you didn't know, now you know. That's according to the website mentalfloss.com there. All right, taking a quick break. We'll be back with hour 3 right after this.
Is there a mental health crisis in America? We need to seriously check it out on Pomp Talk. Hi, Mary Jane Pomp here. Is it in the stars? What's to come? And got some answers for you. Are Americans lots more lonely? And if so, why? And what can be done about that? Stars, cards, and stones, can they give us insight into our lives? We go in search of truth Saturday 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday 9 to 11 p.m., and Monday through Friday 7 to 8 p.m. And check us out 24/7 at KI.com. It's Pop Talk.
Are you ready to explore the unexplained, dive into the bizarre, and journey to the other side of midnight? I'm Frank Morano, your host for the most compelling late-night talk show in America. From conspiracy theories to cosmic mysteries, from politics to pop culture, we cover it all, and then some. Join me weeknights from 2 to 6 a.m. right here on the Voice of the Foothills, FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Don't just stay up late. Stay curious.
Auburn's department store, McCullough's, has something for everyone. From the latest styles for men, women, and adorable kids' clothes and toys. They bring the best brands to the foothills. You can skip the big box store stress and the parking hassles. There's plenty of free parking at McCullough's. With quality service and that classic neighborhood feel. Save time, gas, and money by shopping at McCullough's in the Auburn Town Center, right off of Elm.
20 seconds to the top of the hour, 7:59 a.m. Gang, 2 hours down, coming up on hour 3. Pausing for station ID. Back right after this.
FM 104.5, K2A3CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light on KAHI. Your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two with a dad joke, fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee, don't hit snooze. It's Chris in the morning with
Here we go! And good Wednesday morning to you. It is May 13th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. Come on, you know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills, Chris Quant, with you here, holding it down in beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn. Peering through the Venetian blinds through a mask here. Well, not over my eyes, but I can kind of see it. It's been in my peripheral this entire morning. Why the heck am I wearing a mask? Well, before I get to, I haven't worn a mask. What is the last time? It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. I think I went to the doctor's office. I was sick. Was it sometime last year? So I remember wearing a mask there, but that wasn't for very long. Not an extended period of time like I am right now since the COVID days. And I had to bust out a mask from there. Do I have one of those HEPA filter masks? No. Why do I have a mask on? Well, before I get to that, if you missed it last hour or the hour before, I need to start every hour today with a humble apology, taking a bite of humble pie, maybe having to eat the whole pie, and just say, listen, I was wrong. I jumped to conclusions. I shouldn't have done what I did. And so I owe an apology to one producer, Adam. Adam, I am sorry. I came in the last couple of days. It was hot as blazes in here. And I thought, Adam, you get here so early in the morning. You couldn't have turned the air conditioning on, cooled it down here a little bit. Well, it turns out poor Adam, he tried. Got in here, and after 3 hours of having the quote-unquote air conditioning on, turns out the temperature did not drop in here at all. I think it went from 81 to 80 degrees yesterday. And that's probably because we just had the windows open is the only reason that it went down. So, Adam, I'm sorry. After 2 days of it being in the low 80s inside of the studio here, that ain't right. Adam and I both look at the thermostat and said, we know how to control the thermostat, right? Like, somebody's not just going to come in here and say, hey, dummy, did you try turning, it on to cool and turn the fan on? So, no, it turns out we had done all of that right. We had a HVAC guy, lovely guy. I'm sorry, sir, I can't remember your name. Came in yesterday and took a look at it and said, yep, it's broke. It is definitely broke. It is not working right now. So got in there above the drop ceiling here that we have, and I got a note yesterday afternoon saying, hey, by the way, guys, whoever's going to be in the studio tomorrow, and that would be tomorrow being today, would appreciate it if you'd wear a mask. When he got up there, it turns out there's a lot of dust up above that drop ceiling there, and we had the dust tested. Look, it's an old building, the State Theater. It's been around here for a while. Building materials back in the day, asbestos, stuff like that. They said they tested it. It didn't seem very harmful. Or didn't seem harmful at all, but they're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive. And I, on behalf of all of us here in the KAHI studios, to the folks at the State Theater, thank you for doing that. Thanks for getting a second opinion, doing a deeper dive, just to make sure all of that dust that's up there, because they're going to have to get up there and start moving around and fixing things, I think. They just want to make sure that it is not toxic or have any of the bad stuff in it when they start getting in there and moving around. But they said for an extra bit of precaution today, if you folks wouldn't mind, if you're in the studio, go ahead and put on a mask just to be sure. So following instructions, doing what I'm told to be doing. So if it sounds a little bit muffled, maybe you're not noticing it at all. And I didn't even have to call out the fact that I'm wearing a mask. But if so, that's why. So having flashbacks to what is it? To 6 years ago now, when we were wearing masks full time. And listen, I get it. It was a time we didn't know what we were dealing with. We were trying to be cautious and make sure that we were not only taking care of ourselves, but taking care of our neighbors, wearing those masks there. But boy, am I glad that this is not a mandate anymore. And it was kind of funny how the sense memory comes back of like, oh yeah, this is what it was like to have a mask on. Oh yeah, this is what it was like to wear this thing all day. How in the world did we do that? And how did it get to a point where I kind of barely even noticed it after a while? Like, yeah, it was always there, but it just became a thing that you did and a thing that you just accepted. And some people that you saw, I know there were a few people during that time that when I first met them during that time, whether it was in a professional or in a public setting, had no idea what the lower half of their face looked like for, I would say, a good year, until it became and it's funny how your mind fills in the gaps there of like, oh, I wonder what this person's face looks like. And then finally, when we were able to take the masks off, like, oh, okay, well, that's not quite how I imagined your face, but cool. All right, that's fine. That works for me. But what a weird, crazy time that was. And boy, am I glad that we don't have to really work around that anymore. So, but still, I think it's done a good thing. My son being over in Japan, he said, like, it's just part of the culture there, especially if you're not feeling well, to, put on a mask. And I think it's made it a little bit more normal here too. If you're not feeling well, listen, just for this, and you're going to have to be outside just for the sake of everybody else. I'm one of those people that are super paranoid. Like, can you just maybe not, or just put on a mask? That way, listen, I appreciate it that you're trying to do your best, but I don't want to get sick. So thanks for looking out for yourself, and thanks for looking out for the rest of us. But hey, all right, tangent done. Soapbox, stepping off of it now. Apology sent out. Adam, I'm sorry. Sorry that I blamed you. It wasn't your fault. All right, back to it here. If we let's get back on track here. Let's do like we like to do at the top of the hour here. If today is your birthday, well, then may I say a happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. If you were born today, you share a birthday with one Robert Middleton, American character actor, born 1911. Joe Louis, American boxer, 1914. B. Arthur, American actress and singer, 1922. Richie Valens, American singer-songwriter, guitarist, 1941. Was he the one? It says he died in 1959. Was that the day the music died? Was that when the plane crashed with Buddy Holly in it? I think he was part of that, in the Big Bopper. Anyway, Richie Valens, 1941. Mary Wells, American singer-songwriter, 1943. Dennis Rodman, yes, that Dennis Rodman, 1961. Stephen Colbert, American comedian, talk show host, 1964. Leah Dunham, American actress, 1986. And Debbie Ryan, American actress, 1993. Oh, and Candace King, American actress, 1987. So happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if it is your birthday today. Again, I hope you have a fantastic birthday today. If you were born today, well, then some history things that happened. I have to tell my son about this. Very cool. He'll be very interested in this. We're both Formula One fans. And so on this day, he'll be excited to know in 1950, the very first F1 World Championship took place. The first one World Championship race was held at Silverstone in the UK. Giuseppe Farina took the win in an Alfa Romeo. I guess that's the official birth of the sport, as we know it today. And it is indeed a far cry from the tech that we see on the grid now. Boy, my son and I have taken some time to watch some of the tech talk there that they have around these cars and the development that these are making. Now, they're constructors, so constructors are part of this. Being a constructor, you're making actual cars. So constructors like Mercedes or Ferrari or McLaren or Honda has had engines in there. Ford has engines in there. Cadillac, the newest team on the grid now. American team is on the grid. They're getting in there. They have to be a constructor. They have to make their own engines. But how they build these engines, how they're doing aerodynamics, what they do in wind testing and tunnels, down to the millimeter, down to the micrometer, down to the microsecond for timing, just to inch out just maybe 1,000th of a second more, and how fast these things are coming down, and the time that it comes down between when these guys cross the finish line first. It is absolutely incredible. It's fascinating, not only from a fan and entertainment perspective, but from an engineering perspective as well. It is crazy how they engineer these things. In 1958, the trademark for Velcro was registered on this day, inspired by the way that burrs from plants stuck to a dog's fur during a walk. So yeah, nature teaching us lessons and continuing to teach us lessons to this day. So there we go. Those are your days in history. It's also National Apple Pie Day, which I feel like that should be in the fall, but apparently it's today. So if you enjoy yourself a good apple pie, if you can find one today. It's also National Frog Jumping Day. Traces its roots back to Mark Twain's first short story. As us native Californians know, the celebrated jumping frog of Calaveras County. Remember learning that in elementary school. And it's also National Receptionist Day, so shout out to all of those folks that are basically, let's just be honest, keeping the glue that keeps the entire office together, that keeps all the things going. Hats off to you for taking care of all of the things in the office there. All right. Speaking of taking care of the things in our office here, when it comes to weather, meteorologist Tim Root is going to help us take care of that right now. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, about 75 to 80 today, a nice day. A south wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies, about 55 for the low. It's going to be warm. It's going to be sunny Thursday and Friday. Mid-80s expected each afternoon. Looks like the sunny, warm weather will continue over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 11 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:11 a.m. Coming up in our next segment, we'll have our Fox Business Report. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about looking in the morning brew. We were talking about grade inflation. Well, let's talk about actual inflation. See what the morning brew says about that. Again, the Fox Business Report. And we'll take a look at our traffic right after this.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you that Chris in the Morning really is the best way to start your day. And he's not paying me to say this at all. Wink. And yes, he really is holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI Worldwide Headquarters Studios, Monday through Fridays, 6 to 9 a.m. Chris in the Morning here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. Now, where is that $3 gift card he said he'd leave me for saying nice things about him? Man, that guy's a cheapskate.
Hi, I'm Fred Penny, managing partner of Penny Associate Injury Lawyers. I'm proud to say that I've lived almost my whole life in Placer County area. I've assembled a highly experienced team of partners to handle you and your family's injury case.
For a free initial consultation, call Penny & Associates at 916-784-3566 or go to their website, pennyandassociates.com, 916-784-3566, pennyandassociates.com.
12 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:12 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Placerville. Currently 59 degrees right now. Looking for a high today of 74 degrees. Now, before we get to the Fox Business Report here, looking in the Morning Brew this morning, looking at the headline here, let's take a look here. Just pays, I think, to stay on top of things here. It says inflation erases wage gains for the first time in 3 years. The cost of everything feels a bit high, and now you have the numbers to prove it. Surging energy prices drove inflation to a 3-year high in April, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported yesterday, marking the first time since 2023 that the cost of living has outpaced average paycheck growth in the U.S. Annual wage growth slowed to 3.6% last month, while year-over-year inflation hit 3.8%. That's up from 3.3% in March and 2.4% in February before the U.S. and Israel struck Iran. In April, more than 40% of inflation's month-to-month increase came from energy prices, which were up 18% from the same time last year. Prices at the pump continued to rise, but at a slower rate than in March, and food inflation also contributed, with the price of fresh produce, often transported via diesel trucks, hitting its highest monthly increase since 2010. Tomato prices alone surged 15% for the second month in a row, in part because of tariffs on Mexico. And even without those volatile categories, core CPI still hit 2.8% last month, well above the Fed's 2% goal, and that was buoyed by higher airfares, streaming services like Netflix raising prices, and a one-time adjustment in rental costs stemming from the data blackout of last year's government shutdown. Inflation is eating up all the wage gains, a chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union told CNBC, quote, "This is a setback for middle-class and lower-income households, and they know it," unquote. In a recent CNN poll, nearly 3/4 of respondents said economic conditions are poor right now. Quote, "Uncertainty" and, quote, "stress" were the most common words Americans used to describe their financial futures. So taking a look ahead, though incoming Fed Chair Kevin Warsh has generally called for lower interest rates, the latest inflation data made traders more bullish on a rate hike by the end of the year. So if you're noticing things, prices are going up, things are getting more expensive, well, you are not alone, as most Americans are saying uncertainty and stress are the most common words used to describe their financial futures. So, hey, listen, that's why we all hang out together in the morning. We try and stay informed, but also make sure that we're sticking to the lighter side of things as well. We'll try and keep that balance as best we could. Hey, let's turn it over now, as we do, speaking of business and all those things, to the Fox Business Report.
I'm Taylor Riggs, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Prices paid at the wholesale level before they reach consumers jumped in April. The producer price index rose 1.4% for the month, up 1% for core PPI, excluding food and energy. For the year ending in April, the PPI rose 6%, up 5.2% for core PPI. Economists were anticipating a 0.5% increase from March to April and 4.9% for the year ending in April, and also readings for March PPI were revised higher. President Trump has arrived in China for meetings there. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang joined the delegation of corporate leaders in Alaska, where Air Force One was refueling. And Nissan says it is back to making a profit after nearly 2 years of losing money. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
At Naturewood's Memorial Day sale, you choose the offer. It's like 2 sales in one. Take 10% off regular price or get 24 months of free financing with deferred payments on approved credit. Choose from living rooms, sofas, sectionals, dining rooms, bedrooms, home offices, and so much more. Shop and save big on the best selection of quality furniture, including Sacramento's largest selection of furniture made in the USA. Naturewood. You know, the building with the water wheel. Tell them Brooklyn, Nova, and Orion sent you.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It's the energy all around you. Lightning and the thunder, thunder. The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. Thunder. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
17 minutes past the top of the hour, taking a look outside at our roadways right now. Well, if you're going 80 eastbound near the Auburn area, looks like we've got an accident. The shoulder is blocked. That's 80 eastbound at Ophir Road. So heads up if you're coming up that way. Doesn't look like it's affecting traffic too much, but just be aware if you see people on the side of the road, give them a break as you're going up the freeway. No other major things going up 80 if you're going all the way up to Truckee today. If you're coming down 80, going past Auburn there, heading towards 65 southbound, slow around Sunset Boulevard per usual. If you're coming down, it's slowing down around Antelope Boulevard there all the way to the split. Looks like we've got an accident on 80 westbound over at Marysville Boulevard and Raleigh Boulevard there. So that is slowing things way up, all backing up 80 all the way up to Antelope there. Cap City Freeway slowing down. It's a Wednesday. It's traffic slow. I-5 northbound going to the airport looking pretty good. Southbound slowing as well. Highway 50 side, if you're coming down to Sacramento, looks like we've got an accident. The shoulder is blocked. That's westbound 50 at Watt Avenue there. So just a heads up if you're coming down from the Placerville area. If you're headed up eastbound 50, doesn't look like we have any major slowdowns going up towards South Lake Tahoe there. And Highway 49 coming across the canyon, no major slowdowns there as well. All right, we're going to head off now to JT in the morning. When we come back at the bottom of the hour, sports ball. Giants played Game 2 against the Dodgers last night, a 4-game series there. Game 2, if you didn't hear it here on KAHI, well, you should have, but if not, I'll let you know how the Giants did. Game 3 of a 4-game set is coming up tonight. I'll let you know what time you can catch that game here on KAHI as well. Stay tuned. Back with Sports Ball at the bottom of the hour.
Thomas on the Talk Media Network.
Oh, them damn Yankees. The president is on the ground in Beijing and is walking along the red carpet right now as we speak. Is that a No Kings rally going on there? Or no Premiers rally? Yeah, he's on the red carpet with Chairman Xi right now in Beijing. I don't know if they're going to make any statements. If I see them walking up to microphones, we will jump to it and see what they say. But right now it looks just like, walking down the red carpet without, the bizarre outfits that you'll find at a movie, awards banquet or anything like that. So why is transparency important? And somebody brought up the boy who cried wolf earlier in the program. I think we were talking about the hantavirus in relation to the coronavirus. But the bigger virus is fear and disbelief and distrust. Those are the viruses we need medicines for. And here's why. When you don't get the truth, there's an inborn muscle that contracts when you are told something that doesn't add up. We all have it. It's not like one group or another is genetically more predisposed to another. I know you believe that your spouse has got some special super sensitive, third eye that can catch you when you're lying. I understand that. And but that's often the prejudice of personal experience. But we mentioned the coronavirus and trying to do our level best. We thought, we have some fun with it. We were giving away woke masks. I'm not proud of it because I had been led to believe, because I trust first and verify. And sometimes the verification process takes a while. So while everyone was being told that we could keep our businesses open, which was a lie, if we masked up, which was a lie, I said, well, I'm for keeping our businesses open. And I know you can say, Joe, you were suckered in. But the point was, we had already debated, but we were already too far past the point of changing anything regarding the permits. We had already faced the idea that businesses could be shut down using no constitutional authority, but the authority of the permission state, which was already a problematic moment. And then we said, well, if we mask up, can we keep our businesses open? And the government said yes. That was a lie. Because Tony, take the shot, leave the cannoli, Fauci told us, we kill everyone with our spit. So we were doing stuff like say it, don't spray it, things, and giving away free woke masks. Because hey, you shouldn't be spitting on somebody. Everyone is pretty rude if you're one of those people who are constantly. You get what I'm saying. I mean, say it, don't spray it is one of the oldest expressions in the English language, I believe. It might have been that first indication that we were becoming a civilized rather than a hunter-gatherer group. Because when you're a hunter-gatherer, you don't care if somebody spits in your face. And little by little, evidence started, like I said, when they said, we want you to close your business, and if you don't, we're going to send the Department of Health or the Alcoholic Beverage Commission after you and take away your license to have your business. Then you'll be breaking the law if you open it. Huh, that's interesting. You couldn't just tell us why. No, apparently it wasn't sufficient to tell us why. And that's usually the first thing. So when you're talking about that, bring in the story of the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, acting Attorney General for the United States, telling members of the press, if you leak information, if you're part of a leaking operation where you're part of the publication of sensitive and secret materials, we will subpoena you and put you on trial. They're all freaking out about that because apparently questioning their integrity is the worst thing ever, which is good. I'm glad they have that belief. I just wish they'd exercise their integrity more frequently because they don't. They pitch a narrative. And then if you challenge them on the narrative, they get outraged and they're going to stomp on their feet and not speak to you, whatever. It really came to bear, this capitulation, when they fired Dr. Paul Marik out of Sentara Hospital in Hampton Roads, Virginia. He was there. He was considered one of the preeminent emergency physicians in the world, not just the United States. And he discovered, because he was one of the preeminent emergency physicians in the world, that if you gave these COVID patients, most of them feeling like they were being choked off from the inside out, couldn't get oxygen into their blood, if you gave them ivermectin, that cleared up. And all of a sudden he had to be fired? And nobody in the press questioned it. The press carried the government's narrative of, oh, that's a horse dewormer. That's, and it wasn't. I mean, the Nobel Peace Prize came to the guy who made the human application of it. Not really Mandela-ing that one. So whether it be classified information about our conflicts with other countries or viruses that are in this country, perchance damaging Americans' health, the government has this warranty. Here's a text message. Jerry says, why does the government have such a control of our health? So because we're asking it to pay for it. The government would rather you not get SARS-CoV-2 or hantavirus because they have to pay for it. quiet part out loud. Checks notes again, they have to pay for it. So they don't want you to get it because they don't want to have to pay for it. And all the while, all of it could be avoided with the simple, honest, straightforward conversation. Why are we at war with this country? Why do I have to be afraid of this virus? Where did this virus come from? Are the two connected, maybe?
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE 40. 855-SHARE-40.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020 for a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Battling for years and years, stuck in the endless cycle of minimum payments could take decades. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Total Financial Freedom now at 800-878-6020. That's 800-878-6020. 800-878-6020.
And good Wednesday morning to you. It is May 13th, and it is 30 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:30 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Nevada City. Currently 60 degrees right now. Looking for a high today. Very nice. 73 degrees out there. All right, there's the sports ball music. Let's get right into it. We're starting on the hardwood in the NBA. Yesterday, we are in the semifinals on the western side of the country. It's the Spurs versus the Timberwolves. Spurs spur their way onto a victory, 126-97. That's game 5. San Antonio leads that series 3-2. Let's head over to the MLB. Yesterday, game 2 of a 4-game series, Giants versus the Dodgers. Giants visiting LA down there. Here's what it sounded like at the ballpark.
And it's a high drive. Left field. It is out of here. Unbelievable. The Giants take the lead.
Top of the 5th inning, Eric Haas hits a second homer of the night. 2 HRs for the night. Giants win that one 6-2 over the Dodgers. Beat LA! That's 2 out of 2. Jackie, thank you so much for calling in during the break. You're true Dodger blue, and that's fine. I get it. It's our diversity that makes us better, but Jackie, no offense, but we won. So here we go. Listen, I'm not much of a sports ball person, as you probably can tell, but I did grow up with the Giants, and the Giants have always been my team, so I do get a little bit excited. So thanks for indulging me in my excitements and my bias when it comes towards the San Francisco Giants. Game 3 of the 4-game series is tonight, and that is going to be at 7:10 this evening, so you can hear it all the action here on KAHI. 7:10 tonight, Giants playing Game 3 down in LA. We'll see how that looks and shapes out tomorrow. A's played the Cardinals yesterday. Cardinals win that one 6-4. Mariners over the Astros 10-2. Diamondbacks and the Rangers. Rangers get the W there 7-4. Padres and the Brewers. Brewers win that one 6-4. Royals and the White Sox. White Sox win that one 6-5. And we had the Rockies and the Pirates. Pirates on top there 3-1. And the Angels and the Guardians. Guardians win that one 3-2. Back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Hi, this is Jimmy J. Let's get together this Saturday night at 8 p.m. for the Rewind Show on KAHI, the first station in the world to ever broadcast this show. And thanks to you, boy, have we grown. If you haven't already, be sure to tune in to find out what the rest of the world is talking about. The stars you grew up with are always on Rewind. Saturday night, 8 p.m., right here on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
Wednesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies, about 75 to 80 today, a nice day. A south wind about 10-12 miles per hour. Light winds tonight, mostly clear skies, about 55 for the low. It's going to be warm. It's going to be sunny Thursday and Friday. Mid-80s expected each afternoon. Looks like the sunny, warm weather will continue over the weekend. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 33 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:33 a.m. Well, as we're wrapping up things for today, gang, until we see each other again early tomorrow morning, as always, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself, and remember you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Again, today, if it's your birthday, a happy, stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. Go out there, celebrate, have a little bit of fun. If you like apple pie, well, it's National Apple Pie Day, so there is your dessert idea. Until we see each other again early tomorrow morning, we're going to head back now to finish out the hour with JT in the Morning here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. Come on, it's the Voice of the Foothills.
Joe Thomas.
Is it really safe? And is it really effective?
It depends on what safe and effective means.